Okay, that was awesome. Uh, that was some pretty good shredding right there by a guitar player known as E Comp. That's right, E Comp, guys. He came out with his latest solo album called My Name Is E Comp. His high school debut album. Darn good album. Definitely need you guys to check it out now if you haven't. But um, what am I doing here? Well, obviously you're rocking with Seebass. Hello! We're going to talk about rock and roll, all the rock stuff that we like to hear, but more importantly, we actually do have the guitar player himself, E Comp, on the show. And we're going to talk about his album, a little bit more information there. So without further ado, here he is. How you doing?
What's up? How's it going, man?
I'm pretty good, man. Oh, yeah, that intro, that music video, man, that was awesome.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for playing it too, and thanks for having me on here. It's a huge honor, and I'm very grateful to be here. So thank you.
Oh, you're definitely, man. My goal is to help out any musician in this region, and give them that publicity what they're doing, and where they can get the stuff they can buy, like this.
Sweet. Yeah.
But tell me, before we do go any further here, tell me more about that music video. Like, I noticed in the music video, it's just you. There's no other band. It's you playing the guitar, you playing the bass, and then there's you drumming. And I'm thinking, man, look at that. He cloned himself. That there's the band for him right there.
Yeah, man. Well, so I actually when I made all these songs, I put together all of the instruments myself. So like the drums, the bass, the guitar, I even sang on the whole thing. So I figured, well, I need to figure out a way to make this fun for people not only to just hear but to watch too. So I wanted to put together like a music video that looks kind of, I don't know, like an insane like one-man band kind of thing going on. So I had a good friend of mine, Garrett Shavies, and he set up this whole like video idea, set up the space for it, and then I just did a bunch of takes playing each different instrument, and then he put it together and made that super cool video.
Well, he did a good job. I want to give him credit for that one. But where was that filmed at? Because you had a very nice setup.
Yeah, so it was actually filmed at I work I help out with a church over in Kettering every now and then. It's called Fairhaven. So we actually did it at a
Okay.
church, and we set
Nice.
up the stage and blackened it out. It actually looks like it's bigger than it is because of the way he set the lights up. So he was pretty genius at setting that up.
Well, you're doing that at the church. I'm pretty sure God himself was up there just like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, so wait, what? The name of the album's called High School. Where did you come up with the name High School? Like, did you write all these songs back in high school, or was this just something that just came to you like high school?
Yeah. So you're actually spot on with that, where basically every song that's on this album, either I wrote entirely while I was in high school, or I had like the main riff or like the chorus of a song that I wrote in high school, and I just finally finished it all together and put it together and recorded it all and put it on the album. So that's kind of how it got the name. And I also wanted to throw in some of the songs that were like really influential to me when I was in high school. So like that's why like Ice Cream Man's on there. So basically everything that's in the album was either written by me in high school or really inspired me during high school, so I covered it. So
Right. Well, the
yep.
song, you pull out the song Ice Cream Man really well.
Oh, thanks, man.
I think David Lee Roth would be very impressed with you if he heard that. Even Eddie himself, I'm pretty sure Eddie would look down and go like,
Oh. Hey, that means a lot, man. Thank you. Thank
yeah.
you.
Well,
That was a really fun one to do.
so I don't know if you kind of said this, but how did you come up with the cover of the album?
Oh, yeah. Well, to be honest, I went on a photo shoot for a buddy of mine, Pat Holman, was making. He had this idea to get some of us together and just do some like promotional shoots. So he had set up his background, and he's like, "Bring some amps, bring some guitars. We'll get some real cool pictures. You guys can use it for whatever promo you want." And so I actually have had those pictures for like a year, and I'm like, I'll use them every now and then for promotional stuff. And one of them stood out to me, and I'm like, this one looks kind of cool, and it leaves this like space in the corner. I think I might use that for an album cover, but I'm not sure yet. So I actually ended up I tried a few different ideas. I even had a friend take another picture of me and a couple other like background setups, and I'm like, nah, that's not quite it. And then finally I whipped out that picture again and then put that high school thing up there in the corner. I'm like, I think this is it. I think that looks pretty sleek.
Oh yeah, you pulled it off well. I also like the fact that you have a shirt on that says "Punk Rock Made Me Do It."
Yeah. Yeah. I almost forgot that I was wearing that shirt. But yeah, that's
Uh,
that shirt is made by the drummer Travis Barker has his own clothing line. So
oh wow.
I support him pretty frequently with some of his clothes and stuff. So that was one of the shirts, and I'm like, oh, I'll whip this one out for that picture.
Well, hey, look at this. We have a few people popping on already. We got a good friend of mine, Joseph Burrow. He's saying, "What's up?
What's up?
What's up?" And then we got good old Fran. That's right. How you doing?
Hey, friend, how's it going?
Yeah,
Thank
apparently
you.
she likes my shirt.
Yeah.
All
There he
right.
is.
So sorry about that, guys. The I guess my internet decided to crack up on me, and that's what happens.
No problem at all, man.
You were keeping everybody here entertained.
A little bit.
You gotta love the wonders of technology. Everything's so good, and then all of a sudden it just says, "Nope, sorry."
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Uh,
Especially it always happens at, like, the important moments too.
exactly the most important moments.
Yep.
Oh man. Well, a good friend of mine, Charlie, saying hi. So hey, Charlie. Yep,
Hey,
that's
what's
right.
up, Charlie?
Gotta love the technical difficulties here. Gotta
No worries. No
A
worries
lot
at
of people
all.
did tune in. So thank you guys for your patience. I do apologize. Anyway, where were we? What were we talking about? Your album cover, which you did. But
Yeah, yeah,
I want to kind of explore more here with a few of these songs. One of my favorite songs is Bring Back the 80s. What
yeah,
How did
yeah.
you come up with that?
Oh, so that's like bringing me into a flashback. So I was in high school. I think I was 17 when I came up with that song, and I just remember it was in the middle of winter, and it was snowing a bunch. And I remember I think we had a snow day, so I didn't have school, and I was sitting at home, and I'm like, I got this. I've been listening to 80s music a lot today, and I've got this really cool idea, and I feel like it would be kind of cool to like write a song that sounds like the 80s. So came up with the drum parts, came up with the guitar part, and then I called my friend right after that, and I'm like, "Hey, man, what are you doing right now?" And he said, "Nothing." So I drove through the snow, and we recorded the first demo of it, like in his attic or something like that, when it was freezing cold, and recorded a real rough demo of that, and then had the whole instrumental put together. And I'm like, "Now I need words. I don't have any words for it." So I think we were watching a movie, and I just scribbled down some words, and I wanted to make it since it sounded like an '80s song, I wanted to sing about bringing back the '80s, where all the good times were and loud music, good times, all
Mhm.
that stuff. So that's what I wrote that song about. And I
Well,
wrote the lyrics in like an hour, and I'm like, this seems
wow.
to look great.
Yeah. Well, you pulled it off well, essentially in an hour. And you were watching a movie while you're doing it. So hey, props to you for
Well,
that.
probably less watching the movie and more focused on the words. But
Sometimes
yep,
you just got to do it like that.
sometimes, yeah, the background noise is always really helpful for me at least. So,
But well, yeah. And which song do you like playing the most in this entire album? I mean, I know
mm,
there's a lot for you to pick there.
I'm thinking about that. I think So there's a couple that I really like for different reasons, I guess. Um, I'd say probably in general, my favorite's probably The Void,
That's
because
a
The
good one.
Void's it's got a really fun riff, and I've got a thing for, like, instrumental bridges. So you've probably picked it up, when you're
Hmm.
listening to the CD where there's a lot of bridges in songs that are just an instrumental, and for some reason, I've always liked that. And The Void especially has a really cool bridge because it just builds real well, and then it just goes real hard, and it's straight up rock and roll, and I love playing that song.
Hmm.
So I'd probably
Uh,
say The Void. There's other songs that have other reasons I like them for.
mhm.
Hear No Evil is real fun because it's very intense
Oh yeah,
and, also has a cool bridge, and,
yeah.
yeah, I'd say those are probably my top 2. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say The Void.
I actually noticed you have two versions of the Void. There's track 5, and then there's a track 18, radio edit.
Yeah. So the radio edit is it's the same exact song, nothing's
It is.
changed. It just doesn't have the very long intro or outro. Because I think
Mm.
with the intro and outro, it's like 6.5 minutes long or something like that.
Mhm.
Something crazy, and the edit is only 5 minutes long. So it saves some time if people don't like the intro or whatnot, then gives them an option. So,
Well, I like the intro, so I'll just keep it. I don't
yeah,
know.
the Halloween kinda thing going on.
Well, and then of course, uh, there's another thing I kind of wanted to mention to you. When I was listening to this album, it actually took me, I guess, after the song ended, but you managed to put the quote from Rocky Balboa talking about how tough you are and how much you got to get up and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, did he just put Rocky in his song?
I did.
What made you come up with that?
Well, um, so his quote actually went along with what the song was about,
Mm,
really, like, spot on. So I'm like, "I'm gonna see if I can put this in here," and I actually looked up and read up a bunch about, like, copyrights and stuff, and I'm like, "Am I allowed to put a snippet?" And Uh, at least what I found, if it's not a significant part of the song, you can put a snippet in there. So I'm like, it's just a quote, and it's not really that significant of a part. So I put that in there. If I ever get sued for it, then at least it was cool while it lasted. But the reason I put it in there is basically, Hear No Evil is about, at least when you're growing up, there's a lot of times people will try to tell you where to go, what to do, how to live your life. And sometimes, I always listen to my parents. My parents are great and they brought me up well. But there's times where there's, friends at school or just random people that try to tell you how to live your life. And sometimes it might not be the best advice. And the song is kind of about, like, hear what's going on around you, but like, make sure that you're living life like the way you think is right,
mm,
like, figuring it out for yourself. And because a lot of times, sometimes you'll head down the wrong path, and sometimes there's some negativity around there that it's uh it's easy to slip and fall into stuff like that, when people are bullying people and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, live life to the fullest. Learn how to live life, learn what works for you,
mhm.
and yeah, I feel like the quote really went with that because a lot of times there's a lot of things that can easily bring you down. So it's like don't fall into the temptations of things aren't good for you, and try to rise above that. So
Right. Well, it's like Rocky said, it ain't how hard you can get hit. It's how hard you can get hit and get back up. How much you can
yeah,
take. I'm sorry, I
yeah,
can go all day. I can quote that entire movie.
that's a great movie, man. There's
Yeah.
actually another movie quote in that song that starts
Oh,
off the
really?
whole thing.
I didn't hear that part. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that. What's the quote?
It's it's from I'm trying to remember what the quote was, but I know where it's from. It was from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, really? That's a good
Yeah.
movie. I did not notice that. I'm gonna have to go back. Huh.
Yeah, yeah. That's the opening thing. I think it was Damone that said it. Love
That's
that
funny.
movie.
Well,
Yeah,
again, lot of good songs off this track. There's also I'm kind of curious. The song "Snowman," it's Christmas.
Oh, yeah. It's what,
Well,
18 seconds long, I think?
about, but I'm sitting there like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, but okay, I like it.
Oh, yeah. That was, wrote that song obviously in the winter when it was Christmas time. Obviously, it's not Christmas time now, but, I wanted to write a song like, one of my influences when I was, growing up was, like, Blink-182, like, a lot of
Mhm.
that punk rock stuff, and I'm like, "I'm gonna make something short and sweet and real quick just to get a little splash of that sound," and then I wrote an 18-second song, and that was it.
You should have said at the end, "That's it?"
That's it. Yeah. That's funny.
Fran here says Rocky Balboa, good is good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I've probably seen those movies a dozen times as a kid. I haven't seen them in a while, but I used to watch those a lot growing up.
I had a Rocky marathon not too long ago and got to the Creed movies, and they're pretty good too. So,
I gotta check those out still. I see you got, like, a boxing or wrestling ring in the background too. Oh,
yep,
yeah.
couldn't
That's
resist.
cool.
Well, I got a bunch of Motley Crue and Kiss stuff on my wall too, but
Oh,
they're
yeah.
all on the side.
Any Rocky Balboa stuff?
Not yet, maybe.
Eventually, eventually.
So I know you being in that Arena Rock show, or
Yeah.
this other guy named Getty Rhodes, whoever his name is. Um, but do you ever plan on doing like a solo tour for the album?
Um, that's a good question. I mean, if the opportunity came around, I'd love to play my music for more people. Um, we actually, I'm actually gonna announce it on this upcoming Monday, but I'm playing a release show for the album.
Hmm.
I'll tell you where it's at. It's gonna be at JD Legends, and
Ah,
basically, some of my best friends that I grew up with, I called them up and said, "Hey, like, I don't know if I'll try to tour off this. I'm probably not going to, but I at least want to, um, have like a release show and just play
mhm.
through the album and just get it out there, and the people that like the album can come out and just enjoy it live." So that's happening. It's going to be announced Monday. So
Nice. Well, I'll try to be there for it, and I'll try to
sweet.
go out there and say, "Buy the album."
Yeah.
Buy
That'd be hilarious. I'm gonna hold you to that now.
it.
That's
Hey,
funny.
hold it to me.
Yeah, that should
Or
be a good
what you
night.
could do, what you should do is find a way to sneak into a big concert venue with, I don't know, a big band or something, and just open up for them slowly without them knowing, and perform your
Yeah,
songs. Who
yeah,
knows? You could get a big break from that. Hmm?
it could. Might be a hard task to sneak onto a stage, but I mean, if it worked, it would work.
Ace Frehley pulled it off, kind
Oh,
of,
yeah, that would be funny.
and then he ran away. But whatever.
Yeah.
Well, so when you became a member of that Arena Rock show, because I told you before you're in that band,
Yeah,
um,
yep.
did you ever have a feeling that the band was going to become this popular?
That's a good question. So, I've been playing in that Arena Rock show, as you know, I think it's been 3 years, maybe more? I can't remember, time flies these days, so I could be wrong,
It does.
but it's been quite a while, but I remember specifically the day that, I was called to be asked in the band, 'cause, as you know, I used to play bass in that group.
I do.
Um, I remember Nicky Starr from that Arena Rock show, he gave me a call and said, "Hey, man, how do you feel about, getting together and jamming out some, like, '70s, '80s music sometime?" And I'm like, "That sounds fun to me." And I thought it was, like, getting together in a basement and just playing songs for fun because he said he found this guy that can sing really good, and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta hear that because I mean, if you can sing '70s, '80s music, you can sing, right?"
Right, right.
And so I remember him calling me and asking me that. I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds fun to me," and I showed up and we're jamming in the basement for a little bit, and then I had no clue that we were gonna be playing shows or any of that. And then next thing I know, Nicky Starr is like, "Hey, we've got this show at Bogarts." I'm like, "Bogarts? What?" So I didn't know it was gonna turn into a big thing, and we've got a lot of people following us, and we've got a lot of shows, and I've met some of the coolest people. I met you through that Arena Rock show, so like it's been one of the biggest blessings in my life. It's awesome being in that Arena Rock show.
Mhm.
But yeah, to answer the question, I had no clue. It just happened.
Well, I think you guys have one heck of a following. I mean, you got people from different states and I think a few countries too. And I'm just like, man, these guys really got themselves out there. I'm impressed.
Well, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it
Yeah.
means a lot, especially hearing like at shows. Sometimes people come up to us and say, "Hey, we drove all this way," and I'm like, "Really? Like, no way, that's amazing."
It's dedication.
Yeah,
Yeah. Jody here says that they're ready to go up to JD Legends. We should all
nice.
head
Hey,
up there.
Jody. Love you too, Jody.
And I guess Michelle, I've got an extra ticket for tomorrow night at the Blue Note Harrison. I don't know what's going on there, but hey, I like that place. Good place.
Yeah, yeah, that is a good place.
Oh, and Jody comic back saying, "Love
Yeah,
you too."
yeah. That's
You
awesome.
gotta love how you gotta interact with these fans. You know,
That's super
it's always
cool.
good to interact with fans.
Yeah, I actually
But
didn't even know I could see the comments until now, like maybe 10 minutes ago. So I just put them up. That's cool.
well, what's actually even cooler here is in the shows you've been starting to sing "Purple Rain," you know, quite a few times, and you pull it off really good. You know, I keep on
Oh,
picturing
thank you.
you in uh, Princess outfit, and I'm expecting you to sing "Purple Rain" and then bust out singing "I'll Die for You" for some reason.
Oh man, that would be incredible.
But
Yeah,
what gave you the idea to sing "Purple Rain"?
so actually, um, it wasn't actually my idea.
Oh,
Nick
really?
Carr came up to me and said, what would you think about, adding Purple Rain in the middle of your guitar solo?" And I'm like, "I like that song. Sure, that sounds great to me. Good idea." And originally, we were just gonna do, like, a verse of it, and then that's it. And then Ryan Rocket, our drummer, is like, "Well, what if we do, like, a full band build for a little bit of it?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. That'd be cool too."
Yeah, yeah,
So we ended
do it.
up jamming out the first portion of the song, and it's a blast. I love singing that song. It's fun. And it's one of the
Yeah.
songs that, like, everybody knows the words to.
Oh,
So, like,
yeah.
I don't even have to sing it. I just start playing it and then listen to everybody else sing it. It's always fun.
I always like it when the crowd sings back to you. Like it's
Mhm.
like, whoa, you're making my job easier. Keep going.
Yeah,
I'll just play this
exactly.
guitar.
Exactly.
But
No, it's very cool hearing that, and I never really even thought I would get to that point where I'm playing music and people are singing back to me, like, it's something you can't really describe, you know? It's an energy type thing, it's awesome.
yeah, it's something for me to experience too, because I it's never happened to me before, sadly.
Hey,
I'm
well,
just
when
kidding.
that release show happens, I'll bring you up on stage and say, "Alright, sing," and then you can see what it feels like.
And then I'll sit there like, welcome. Then I'll throw the mic. Yeah. I
Oh,
don't know.
that's
I'll
fun.
maybe I'll just bust out dancing because I'm a dancer than a singer. Maybe I'll do
There
that.
you go. There you go. I didn't know you were a dancer, that's awesome.
Yeah, I used to do that back in high school. It was good.
That's cool. That's
But
really
now I
cool.
do this. I still dance every now and then.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'll have to see you break that out
speaking of,
sometime.
yeah, maybe one day at the show. But speaking of, you know, dancing and energy, you do the move at
Yeah,
times. I haven't seen you doing it in a bit, but
yeah, yeah.
you like to do the worm a lot.
Oh, yeah. So, the reason why I do that, funny story, I don't actually dance. That's, like, the only dance move I know. And I think I learned how to do it as a kid, and everybody thought it was, like, the coolest thing ever, and I'm like, "I don't know, I just learned how to do this random thing that looks like I'm doing a worm," and I've been able to do it ever since, and for some reason, when people see it, they just kinda, like, don't expect it, so I think that's why they react and get excited about it and think it's cool,
Mhm.
but I haven't done it in a little bit, mostly because, which is another funny story, is we played a show. I think you were at this show, and I was wearing jeans that had holes around the knees, and I did the worm, and it was a pretty rough stage, and my knees got
Oh,
scraped up really bad. So
oh
I couldn't do
no.
it for the next 2 shows. I mean, I
It's
could do
like,
it the
okay,
next
I'm
2
not
shows,
doing
but it would hurt.
right. But I don't know. I like it. Of course, when I first saw you guys for the first time, you guys were doing the drum solo and then the guitar solo. I'm like, it's good. And then I
Yeah.
see you just doing this thing, and I'm like, who's that
Yep,
guy?
yep. I don't know why I started doing it. It's just people see it and start cheering, so it's like, "Alright, I'll do it."
Do the worm. It's your
Yeah.
iconic move. Maybe you should. Maybe one day you should do the worm backwards with your guitar and do this and do a solo.
Ooh, if that
It would
was
hurt.
possible, if I could figure it out, that would be pretty cool.
I think it'd be
I'll
awesome.
see what I can do, but no promises.
Talk to Angus Young. He could help you pull it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of Angus Young, I know he's probably a big influence of yours, but who has influenced you the most?
Hmm. Oh, man. That's a real good question. Am I allowed to pick a few?
Pick as many as you like.
Alright, how about I give you the top 3? How about that?
Go for it.
Alright, so, I mean, Angus Young was a little bit of inspiration growing up, but I would say I don't think I'd put him in my top 3. I think for sure one of them was Eddie Van Halen.
Oh yeah.
I remember I was super young and, I was playing Guitar Hero, and there was "Beat It" on there, and Eddie Van Halen does that solo,
Hmm.
and for some reason, I thought it was Slash, because when I was a kid, Slash was on the cover of the game, and I'm like, "Oh, it's gotta be Slash, he's on the cover." And then my dad comes in the room, and he's like, "What? That's not Slash, that's Eddie Van Halen." I'm like, "Who's Eddie Van Halen?" And ever since
Uh-oh.
that, like, what, I think I was 12, 13 years old. Ever since that, my dad showed me a bunch of Eddie Van Halen stuff, and I'm like, "What in the world? How have I never heard of this guy?" And I listened to Van Halen stuff nonstop for a long time. So I'd say Eddie Van Halen definitely in the top 3, if not just the number 1. Um, I would also say behind him is, you've probably heard of Nuno Bettencourt from
Mhm.
Extreme.
Oh yeah. Great
His
band.
guitar playing, oh, great band, and his guitar playing is unlike no other. Like, he can shred, but he also makes really cool riffs.
Hmm.
So
Underrated
I've
band
always,
too.
yeah, yeah. Have you ever seen him or anything?
I've never seen them live. I've
Mm,
watched their videos and listened to their stuff, but I've never seen them live. I've always wanted to though.
yeah. I think they make their way around town pretty well, so they might be around sometime. But, I just know that from watching, like, YouTube videos, usually when you're playing a live concert, it's you're bound to mess up a little bit more than in the studio, obviously, but
Hmm.
Nuno Bettencourt, he still nails everything, and it's like, "How are you playing like this?" It's incredible.
He could play the guitar with no hands. He could just sit there and do this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
He's
what?
yeah. He's an incredible guitarist.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Great guitar player.
and I'd say probably my 3rd one is, just as a musician as a whole, is Travis Barker.
Travis Barker. Okay.
That guy, he put out a book a few years ago about, like, his life story pretty much, and because 'cause he's been through a lot of some crazy stuff. He was in a plane crash, years ago and survived it and all this crazy stuff, and I'm like, "I wanna hear more about his story." So I bought his book and I read it over one summer, and, um, for one, I've always thought he's an incredible drummer. Like, he is very fast and very efficient, and he's unlike no other drummer. He's awesome. And but even more than that, like, his drive in general, like, to always wanna be better at what he's doing,
Hmm.
um, and the way he goes about that is super inspiring. So I think it's pretty cool. But
Definitely.
definitely look up to him.
Yeah. Well, look at that, folks. Three three influences.
There we go.
Yeah, I love it. And Eddie Van Halen's number one, which well deserved, by the way. I
Yep.
think Eddie Van Halen is probably one of the best guitar players I have ever heard. I think he's up
Oh
there with
yeah,
my top five because I have
yeah,
so many guitar players in my list. Um,
yeah. Well, not only was he a great guitar player, even like throughout all the years, but he was also, I think we talked about it like a while ago on one of your other shows, was he's very innovative. Like when he started doing his thing, like nobody was doing that yet, you know?
right, I agree.
And it's incredible.
I think I think the things he did set the boundaries of what a guitar player should be. He made the guitar players cool. I
Yeah.
mean, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, guitar players were always like, cool in the 70s and 60s, but I think he kind of brought it up to another level.
Yeah, I agree. And his whole like iconic designs, like his guitar design, him wearing the overalls and all that, like he's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you being in the band That Arena Rock Show, you have the solo album coming out. I don't know. Do you ever have a moment where you should maybe feel like you need to play one of your songs when you're in the band That Arena Rock Show,
Um,
or you think Getty Rose would let you do that?
I'd have to ask Gator Rose. But I mean, I've never really thought about it. But Nikki and I and T-Bone have actually talked about um once like the craziness of life calms down a little bit, we talked about maybe coming together and actually writing some music together and maybe throwing that in our set. So we all want to do it. We just we need to have the time to do it, and then it's gonna get done. So hopefully, sometime in the future, we can get something cool written and play it out and see what you guys think. But I'm not promising anything by all means, but like the idea has been there for probably ever since we started this.
Hmm.
So
Well, when that time does come, and you guys come up with a few good songs, get an album in there, get a nice good album cover. Wonder what your album cover should be. I mean, we already got this guy. Oh,
just
can we
Photoshop
just
everybody else in
yeah,
there.
yeah, just get everybody in the background and go like, oh, hey, by the way, this is the rest of the guys. Just so you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, like we've talked about it almost since day one. I just know that it's been on our minds because there's something about getting together and just playing music together that it's just super fun and like it's what we love doing. So when we get together and we jam out stuff like that, we'll even jam out random like songs that we just make up on the spot and we're like, man, it would be cool one day to do something. So maybe it'll happen one day. I
Yeah,
think it would be cool.
I think it'd be amazing. And Fran here says, I totally agree.
Yeah, yeah,
We got a few people that are also commenting here. Original music would be awesome from the Tars.
yeah. Well, I'll keep
Yeah.
ringing the bug in Nikki's ear, and maybe we can get something together. We'll see. We'll see.
Like, are you gonna try to, do a little drowning pool to his ear? Hey, original music, original music, original music.
Oh, that'd be funny. That'd be real funny. Yeah.
It's also what's even more funny. When I first saw the word Tars, I had no idea what that really meant until I found out that it's a short version of your guys' name.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's hilarious. You
I
know, I
was,
used to always call like whenever I'd talk about it, I'd say that Arena Rock show. But now that we started using TARS, it's like that's so much easier to say.
yeah, yeah, Tars. Yeah, I'm in a band called
Yeah,
Tars.
yeah.
I mean,
It's
that Arena Rock
great.
Show. Yeah.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
now, of course, you said this before, and I actually knew this. You played bass in the band, and then you
Mhm,
switched up to playing guitar.
mhm.
But I also noticed in the music video you played drums.
Mm.
So that gives me a
Yeah,
sense you could play a lot of instruments here.
I
Um,
can play quite a few. I'm not great at a bunch of them, but I can get by if that makes sense.
is the guitar your the favorite instrument that you like to play the most?
You know, the funny thing is, guitar by far is my number 1 instrument. It's like it's always been what I've played the most, so it's always my
Mhm.
number 1 instrument. But honestly, the funnest to play, in my opinion, is drums because you just hit stuff, you know? Like, you hit
Frustration.
stuff so hard, and I'm like, "This is fun." Like, I don't have to worry about what chord I'm playing or what key I'm in, I can just hit stuff. So I think it's the funnest, honestly. But I mean, I love playing really any instrument. So, but
Well,
guitar is definitely my main one.
how long have you been playing guitar?
Oh yeah. So I remember I mentioned I played Guitar Hero a bunch as a kid.
Right.
Um that was when I was around 12, 13, maybe 14-ish. And I remember when I saw the video game version of Slash on stage, um, which by the way, Slash should actually probably be in my top 3. I could revisit. I could go back and forth for days, but
Yeah, I was
Slash
gonna
is
say.
but anyway, when I saw that video game version of Slash on stage rocking out and shredding, I'm like, "I wanna play guitar." And I started trying to learn when I was 13 and a half, I think, and my uncle taught me, like, all the basic chords and stuff, and I just took off and ran with it. But, um, I never like, nobody ever taught me. I learned from, like, YouTube videos and stuff, and I took lessons on and off, but not very much. But, I do see a comment so funny story, I do see a comment about, using a bow during Still of the Night. I actually have almost broken that out, and which is even funnier is before I played guitar, I actually played violin, which nobody would ever guess, but I did.
Well, speaking of violin, maybe when you guys play the Def Leppard song "Let's Get Rocked," you should bring out the violin. And when they say the words violin, do this. Cut it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Or do some, like, Devil Went Down to Georgia kinda stuff going on.
Oh,
That would be
yeah.
cool.
And I think it would be cool to see you actually do the do 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 do.
Yeah,
I could totally see you doing that.
that would be
But
kinda cool. I would not be opposed to trying that. That sounds fun.
well, and then of course, you broke out to play many other instruments. You played bass and all that. Well, what made you
Yeah,
pick up the bass all of a sudden? Like, oh, I'll try bass.
yeah, well, so I've the history of what instruments I played violin for 9 years when I was since from being 7 till 14,
Right.
took lessons. I still play it every now and then. I think we have a acoustic Dead Arena Rock Show video, and I break out the violin for one of those songs.
I did
Uh,
see that.
yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, the Whole Lotta Love is what it was. Um, but then after violin was guitar, and then after guitar, I was in high school, and I'm like, "I wanna start making, like, full band songs, like rock music. I can't just make a song with an electric guitar. It needs bass and drums." And so I started learning how to play bass, and it's fairly simple. There's a lot of things you gotta learn with it, but
Mhm.
I actually started learning it primarily because of uh, church. I was
Hmm.
playing in church, and there was hardly any people that played bass. So they called me and said, "Hey, would you mind maybe trying to hop on bass every now and then?" I'm like, "Sure."
And they say bass players are easy to find.
It's not. We're always
No?
short bass players for some reason. It's crazy.
Well, this is the way I say this as all respect. I don't know what's with me, but I always meet the bass players first for bigger bands. Like I met John Moyer. I met the uh, who else did I meet? It was another bass player. Oh, Eric Birmingham from Cinderella. So I'm sitting there like,
Oh,
what's with me meeting all the bass players?
I don't know.
I guess it's
For
important
some
for me
reason,
to.
bass players just never seem to get the spotlight. But the funny thing is, like, bass is probably one of the most important instruments in the whole band because without it, it's it's
there's
awful, you know?
there's no rhythm. They have that
Yeah,
beat to it. It keeps the rhythm going. So yeah, bass
exactly,
players deserve more recognition than what they do deserve.
exactly. Yep, I agree 100%.
Now, something else I kind of wanted to tell you. Um, you this is something that Nikki has told me. How you guys have met. He met you in a battle of the bands.
Yeah. Yep.
What's your perspective of that story? Like, how did you guys like? I want to hear from your point of view.
Oh, yeah.
The Battle of the Bands because he was a judge apparently.
Yep, you got that right. So that's more, memory flashbacks I'm going on. Um, I was in high school actually, and, I had an original band, some of my best friends who they're actually gonna be playing, most of those guys are gonna be, playing with me on the release show.
Mhm.
Um, but I was in an original band with them in high school, and we went to this Battle of the Bands contest. It was at the Underground in Cincinnati. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's closed now,
I've heard of it, but yeah, I've never been there.
but yeah, it was an amazing place. And the funny thing was, we signed up for it because a lot of our favorite bands had played at that venue, and we're high school kids. We're like, "Hey, let's sign up so we can play the same stage as our favorite bands. That'd be awesome." And that's all we wanted. And we signed up and we went to Battle of the Bands. There was, I think, like 28 bands in it or something, but they had like 4 per night and it was overtime.
Mhm.
And we played there in round 1 and we're like, that was amazing. We just like we played the same stage as some of our favorite bands. Like that was awesome. And we didn't even care if we advanced or anything. And sure enough, we ended up advancing to the second round. And then we're like, "Oh, well, that's kinda cool. I didn't see that coming." And then we went out, played the second round, and advanced again, and then it was the semifinals, and that's where I met Nick at the semifinals, the very first time I met him. He was judging, and I remember he was sitting back there, Nick's long black curly hair, and he was, like, wearing sunglasses or something. I'm like, "This guy looks kind of scary and intimidating." And then after we played, the judges kinda give you, like, a quick overview on, like, what they liked and all that. And I remember it got to Nick, and I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna, like, not like this because he's sitting there with his long hair and his glasses on." And then he starts talking, and I'm like, "Oh, he sounds really nice." And he was like, "Oh, I loved you guys' music. That was awesome." And then he, like, followed our band page and stuff, and, he was telling us he loved our music and said, "Hey, you guys wanna open for us sometime?" And so my band opened for his, and I think that's when we became friends. We exchanged numbers, and, we played a couple shows together where I opened for his band, and then, we started getting closer as friends when, um, Nick has that, Stone Temple Pilots band,
Mhm.
and he asked me to help out with, like, guitar tech. And so that's when I went over, learned their stuff, and helped the guitar tech. I switched his guitars and his pedals and all that stuff, and then, at that point, we were getting to be fairly good friends, and then that's when he called me about playing in guitars. So, yeah,
Well,
we have a long, like, strange history of knowing each other.
well, it's always cool to like hear both perspective of each story because I've heard
Yeah,
Nikki's story and I was like, oh, I gotta know what you know what's E's version of the story. Well, what's his perspective? And
yeah,
I
yeah,
just like how everything connects and you guys managed to form this amazing band that you guys have been doing. And
yeah,
it's something I've always appreciated. And
yeah,
then of course you've been with the band for 3 years as you stated, right? 3 years.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, time goes by too fast.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys have any like current goals for the band?
Um, I'm trying to I don't know if we have, like, specific, like, milestone goals, but, before COVID and stuff happened, we had show number goals, like, we wanted to play 25 shows a year, stuff like that. We wanted to increase it this year, but then COVID happened, and that kind of, like, changed things a little bit. Um, but our goal is, um we just want to continue to make our show better,
Mhm.
and, like, I love how it runs now, and I think it's great, and people seem to love it and have a great time, but there's, like, some things we want to swap out and make things just better every single time because we don't want people to come back and see the same exact show every year. You know, we want it to be better every year because
Right.
that would bring people back, and not only would it bring them back, but like our really main goal as a band is to just like help people like have a good time and just enjoy the show. And if we can just do it better and better every year, then that'd be awesome. But I
Right.
think right now our current goal is keep packing out our summer, with as long as health and safety stuff permits, maybe throughout the fall and winter, and just keep getting more and more shows. But I would like to see, like our goal from last year of I think 25 to 30 shows. That would be cool to shoot for again for next year if things are back to normal, you know.
Right. Well, Fran here says, do a CD.
That
I
would be
think
kinda cool.
I, I think I overheard Nikki and all of you guys actually talking about doing maybe a CD with a bunch of covers on it, just like you did for the music video for Quiet Riot, which, by the way, great video, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. That was fun to put together. Yeah, Nikki's right about that. We had talked about recording some more, and actually, as Vicky put in the comments here, if we have plans on doing unplugged videos, um, we were actually going to formulate a CD and possibly put some more of our recording, like hit the studio and put some more covers similar to Quiet Riot, and also put on those acoustic songs on it
Hmm.
and put that into a CD. Um, the plan was to do some more videos, and we had some really big changes, some upgrades that we've been building for our stage, and I've actually been working on doing a lot of light programming for that Arena Rock show. So there's a lot of incredible stuff that we've been working on, and I can't give it away, but there's a lot of new stuff that we've been working on that ended up having to push those unplugged videos back a little bit. So we do
Hmm.
plan on doing some more unplugged videos at some point. We actually have I have a list screenshotted on my phone of the songs that we're doing next. We just
Right.
hadn't gotten around to it yet, just because all these new technology and all this stuff that we're running with. So we
Well,
plan on doing some more. Those are
just
super
got to
fun.
keep going. I mean, I think you guys have gotten tighter and tighter every time I see you.
Mm.
I think your shows have definitely gotten better. You guys surprised me at least with newer. I wouldn't say newer songs, but songs that you guys haven't played yet. Like one day you guys decided to play the Bullet Boys, "Smooth Up In Yet." That took me by surprise.
Yeah, that's a fun one to play, man. That was one of my favorite songs, honestly. That was really good.
Yeah, it's funny. My grandmother thought you guys were saying jalapenos, and I looked at her like, "What? Jalapenos?"
Oh,
Uh,
that's hilarious. I'm gonna swap that out next time we sing it live. I say jalapenos.
that was for Seabass's grandmother. There you go.
Yeah, that's funny. That's really funny.
I know you guys did Cherry Pie by Warrant. That was
Yep.
funny.
I
Uh,
love playing cherry pie. That's a good one. That's working its way back in, so we're gonna be playing that one a few times this summer.
you guys should play more Warrant songs like Uncle Tom's Cabin. I think that would be awesome.
I agree with you. I'll have to ask Getty Rose about that.
Yeah, get ready. Find a way to get Getty Rose to say yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think that would
But
be cool.
but here's
There's
another
some other songs we're working in too, so we've got some stuff that we haven't played before that we're adding in, and those would be pretty
right.
fun too.
Well, here's another thing you guys should do. This is something that I saw that Night Ranger did. When I went to go see him. It was a long show, but they played both of their first two albums, the entire
Really?
songs. And I'm like,
Really?
wait, they're playing every single song from each of their albums.
Wow. That's really cool when bands do that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I was talking to a friend of mine that I've been to a few concerts that are like that. You know, like most of the time it's like reunion or not reunion tours, but it's like anniversary tours.
Mhm.
So like if there's like a 10-year or 20-year anniversary for an album, a lot of times they'll go on tour for it and they'll play straight through the whole album. And I love those concerts, especially when like I know I like that album a lot and I know that when I get there, they're just gonna play straight through it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
one of the coolest things.
yeah. I love it when bands do that. But I think that was like my first time hearing that. And then they also brought in Timber Owens, former Judas Priest singer, coming out
Oh, no way.
playing. Well, my life is complete.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
It's probably one of
Yeah,
my favorite shows of all time. But unfortunately, we are running out of time here. Dude, I really appreciate you coming on to talk to me about your album. I think it's an
yeah.
amazing album. I think it's one of the best albums I've heard.
Oh, no
Um,
way. Thank you.
and
Thank
and
you.
I really want you to get it out there, just so I can sit there and say I know that guy.
Oh, that means a lot, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can if you're watching, you can find the page on Facebook if you just type in literally "my name is E," and that should pop up for you. And I'll be posting stuff. Like I said earlier, I'm actually going to announce when the release show is. I'm going to announce that on Monday. It's going to be at JD Legends. It's going to be in May. So the
Well,
official announcement will be on Monday. But stay tuned for that. And I think that would be
let's
super cool.
just hope that it's not May 21st because I'll be in Utah.
Yeah. Well, luckily it's not.
Oh,
So
good.
there we go. Yeah. That would be
Uh,
super cool. I'd love to see you there, man. If you end up coming out, maybe I'll give you a shout out or something. Bring you on stage.
yeah, definitely. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody said something.
See everyone May 29th, JD Legends. Hey, that area
Oh,
rock show is also going to be
yes,
there.
that's right. I will
So
be there for that. I'm definitely going to be there.
sweet, sweet.
Yeah. So don't
Yeah,
worry, you will see me,
good,
or
good, good.
the Getty Rose guy will see me.
Yeah, one or the other.
Yeah, one of the other guys.
Yeah,
And all
those
the
two
people that,
rascals, man.
yeah, they're crazy, huh? I don't know. But to all the people that tune in to watch this, thank you for tuning in and to listen to E's story about how he became a member of the band and how he rose to fame as a musician, and to also look at his album, which, by the way, please go and buy. Where can you
Oh
buy
yeah.
that, by the way? I'm gonna have to ask that real fast.
Say that again.
Where can you buy that, by the way?
If you follow my Facebook page, you'll be able to see there's a link to it's like a link hub. If you hit that link, it'll give you links to everything. It'll give you links to YouTube, Spotify, and all that. And there's also a link to buy the CD there.
Nice.
So it'll be if you look for me on Facebook, I'll be there, and I'll try to be posting about it too. So thanks again for having me on this, man. It means a lot, and I'm honored to be on your show. This is awesome.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's been great. But I do wish you a good night, and I want you all to take care and keep on rocking. And this is E Comp of That Arena Rock Show, or Getty Rose, or whoever you want to remember him as. Take care and keep rocking.